welcome to Coffee with Coach Douglas. Good morning, Coach Douglas.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm doing well. I apologize for starting 90 minutes late, but it's for a good reason. Today is the Cave City edition of Coffee with Coach, and we've got to work around their class schedules. Like if Jake's in class and Jaron's got an advising meeting, we can't cancel those for this. So we pushed back 90 minutes, but we got who we wanted here today, and it's freezing outside, but it feels like football weather. The wind's not blowing, so I'll take it.
It kind of gets y'all ready for the upcoming game and you're going up to Iowa, right?
Well, we were expecting first weekend in November, and my experience is always the worst weather day of the football season. I don't know why. It's always the first one, not the second weekend in November, but knock on wood, it's supposed to be 50 degrees and 5-mile-per-hour breeze. So, man, I don't think we could ask for any better in Decorah, Iowa this time of year for sure.
No doubt. Well, let's talk about your guest today.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So on my right, got Jake Four. He's a 4-year starting lineman for us at left guard. He's from Cave City, because again, Cave City edition here. And then Jaron Price, wide receiver for us. Really his first year to really take the reins at that X position due to injury and some things like that, but he's really killing it now, and we're super excited to have both on, but both of them on our team, more importantly, because they're huge contributors on the field, but also huge contributors in our leadership and in the classroom as well. I mean, these guys are going to be doing it in life afterwards as well, whether getting in the medical field or getting into the business world. We could definitely dive into Jaron's experience this summer as well with his internship that he did.
Well, let's just start with that then. Jaron, go right ahead and introduce yourself and talk about your internship.
So I'm Jaron Price. Like Coach Douglas said, I'm from Cave City. I'm a senior. This is my 4th year here. Came in with Coach Douglas. And so, yeah, just football-wise, like I said, coming in 2020, we came in during COVID, so that was kind of different. A lot of different experiences for everybody. And so just being able to see the way that the program has grown over time, and just seeing like the way that we've really been able to take a big step forward this year, it's been awesome to see. And just the fact that we were able to come in, during a rough time for everybody in COVID, and kind of just see the process through and trust it, and see kind of that we're finally getting some results and taking some big steps. It's really awesome to see. And Coach Doug mentioned my internship. I was able to do an internship with Future Fuel Chemical Company over the summer and kind of get involved in the business world a little bit. And so that was a really unique experience for me, just because I've never really got to experience a real world office job atmosphere. And so I learned a lot of cool things. I got to do a presentation kind of at the end of the internship to show what I've learned. And so that was a really cool experience. And Coach Doug does a really great job of kind of pushing not only the athletic side of things, but kind of, making sure we know how important the education side of it is, and kind of making sure we stay focused in that area as well.
Very good. Yeah. Jacob, talk about yourself, introduce yourself to everybody, and kind of tell us about your medical background.
Yeah, so I'm Jacob Ford. I'm from Cave City with Jaron. So we came in together during COVID, like he said, and I don't have a grand internship like he did, but I've been working with my mom in her clinic in Cave City for as long as I can remember. And I think that this is the place to get set up right, and like he said, we've been fortunate to have Coach Doug with us to push the academics so hard, because that's ultimately what we're here for.
Right. And talk a little bit about your experience here and your career at Lyon College playing football.
Oh yeah, I couldn't wish for a better school. I mean, this is perfect for me. I mean, not only am I right at home, but I get to be with a group of guys that really want to be here. Yeah. I mean, coming in during COVID, it was tough. That's probably one of the hardest things I've ever done, and these group of guys have stuck with it, and I couldn't be more proud of everybody that's been here with us. And Coach Doug, I mean, that's a scary deal coming into your first year, and we can't play till the spring, and I think he's done a terrific job here with us, growing with us and learning everything. It's been a great time.
Awesome. We're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about Gilbert College
this
week.
Yeah,
Coach,
absolutely.
That was a great win.
It was fun. I'd never been to Boston before, and we got to drive around quite a bit. Got one of my many check boxes checked off going to Niagara Falls. I didn't get to spend a ton of time there. You know, you've got everybody and we've got to go practice and do our thing there, but really enjoyed the trip other than basically 3 days straight with no sleep. We left at midnight on Friday to drive to Memphis to catch a 5 a.m. flight, which was originally supposed to be a 5:35 a.m. flight, and get into Boston around 11 o'clock. And I'm sorry, I've said Boston yesterday, Buffalo, and got into Buffalo around 11 o'clock, and did our thing and got some lunch, and then went to Niagara and went to practice, and then next thing you know, we got to get up and go again, because now instead of playing what originally was going to be a noon kickoff Eastern so 11 o'clock for us, it turned into an 11 a.m. Eastern, a 10 o'clock Central kickoff. So we had to get up extra early for that, and then turn around and catch a 6 a.m. flight, which we had to get to the airport at 4 a.m. You're checking in 72 people with travel cases and travel bags and all that. I mean, it literally took us an hour just to get through ticketing. And that was without the ticket issues we had leaving Memphis. We were just about to leave Kedrick Wooten because for some reason he did not show up on our manifest. We were about to leave Will Nail, because he wasn't on our manifest for some reason, but we were able to work it out, and we got everybody there safely and on time and didn't have any delays in flights. I think I would rather have sat 16 hours on a bus than get up 3 days in a row super early with basically no sleep, but I feel like we're getting back to recovering. I think I need one more sleep maybe to get right. But it was a great game for us. You know, Hilbert's a young program and trying to get their wheels underneath them a little bit. Their coach is doing a nice job getting that started, but it is hard. You're a first-year program and you're the second coach in a second-year program. And so it'll take them a little bit of time to get going, but there's a lot of potential there. I felt like our guys played really, really well at times. We tried to give the game away a couple times with a bad snap over the punter's head and a pick, basically a pick six, almost to open the second half. But we really did a nice job of running the ball, particularly with Jake here, and our throw game. I mean, first completion of the game, first play of the game went to Jaron here, and he had to catch it twice, but he caught it. And we almost hit him on a big play too. We just put the ball out a little bit too far out for him. But we made some big plays when we needed to. We missed on a couple of big plays that we probably would have ended it a lot earlier. But I was really proud of the guys, their effort, their focus, and we played smart. Other than a couple of major mistakes, we really played smart throughout the entire game, and when you can do that and you can make some plays along the way and limit the amount of big plays you're giving up, you got a really good chance to win.
Well, going from the East Coast to the Midwest now, going to Iowa this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Playing Luther College. Talk about Luther College and maybe some of the things that concern you about them.
Yeah, absolutely. The American Rivers Conference used to be the Iowa Conference that I well know, but changed their name several years ago. And that's a really tough conference. If you were to rank all 27 football conferences in the nation, I'd put them in the top 10 for sure, and maybe even the top 8. Really, really strong conference. Wartburg kind of is running that conference right now. I'm very familiar with them. I took a beating to them years ago at MAC, one of our first non-conference games ever. Did not realize how really good Iowa Division III football is. Iowa Division III football is much like much like Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, you have Division I and Division III, and that's it. There's no Division II school programs up there. Other states will go into Wisconsin to recruit some Division II type athletes, but your Division III schools like Wisconsin Whitewater and Oshkosh and Platteville and all of those, they have a lot of really good players because they're either going to Wisconsin or they're going to somewhere else. And it's a lot like that in Iowa. There's Northern Iowa FCS championship, football championship program, and then of course there's Iowa State, and then there's several NAI schools, but the rest of it's Division III. And so if you're not a Division I athlete, there's a really good chance in Iowa you could wind up at a D3 school. And so it's a very strong conference. Right now Luther's really struggling in that conference, but they're a very, very good program. I mean, we evaluate their defense, and I know Coach Rudd on the defensive side evaluates their offense, and we put rankings on their defense, and we've ranked Luther's defense as one of the tougher ones we're going to see all season. Their defensive line is a little bit scary. It's not that it's big, but they're very fast and they move around quite a bit. Coverage-wise, they're going to give us some issues in the passing game because of the type of coverage that they're going to play, and so we've got to establish a run game to start and then be able to try to loosen things up after that. But they're going to be very, very multiple. I think I've seen more fronts, more alignments, I should say, out of defensive linemen, and more coverages out of their secondary than I've seen about any team this year. And so we've definitely got our hands full, but I feel like if we put together the energy and the effort and the focus that we did this last week at Hilbert, and we continue to build off of the failures and the successes that we've had all season, and we play our brand of football, we'll come out victorious, but we'll have to go do that for sure.
Right. Well, Jacob, I'm gonna take it to you right now. Talk about the performance last week at Hilbert and the momentum that you're carrying going into Luther College this week.
I mean, I can't be any more proud of the offensive line. I think we've grown tremendously this year. It was a little shaky coming off the last offseason. We had a really low numbers, but I think everybody banded together over the summer and trained really hard, and we came in prepared to go in and make some big plays. And I think that as the season is going, we're setting up more and more big plays for us to take down the field.
Yeah.
Okay, going into Luther, what do you think?
I'm not worried at all. I put my 100% trust into these guys beside me. I think that, we're ready for it. They're quick, like Coach Duck said, and they're going to move a lot, but I think that if we play sound like I know that we can, we'll be all right, and we'll get everything covered up.
That's awesome. Jared, I'm going to ask the same question to you. Talk about Hilbert and the momentum carrying over into Luther.
Yeah, like Jacob said, just super proud of the way everybody handled everything. Like Coach Doug mentioned earlier, very little sleep on that trip. So one thing, kind of with that situation is you're worried about kind of coming out sluggish in the game. And so I think we did a great job of coming out with energy and kind of maintaining it throughout the whole game. And so, yeah, just super proud of the way everybody handled it and the way we were able to fight and come out with the win. And so just a lot of momentum carrying into this week, and hopefully we can repeat the same thing, come out hot with a lot of energy and kind of keep it throughout the game and hopefully come out with the same result.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Coach, it's not as long a drive, but it is a drive.
But it is a drive. Yeah, about 9 hours to where we're going to be staying in Cedar Falls. But Decorah doesn't have a hotel that can service the entire team and feed us as well. So we'll be staying an hour and a half away from where we're actually playing, which is not bad. I've done that before. We've done a little over an hour when we go to play Wayland Baptist and we have to stay in Amarillo. That's an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 15 minutes down there. So it'll be similar to that. Doesn't worry me too much, but it's roughly about 10 hours up there. But really looking forward to the game. I've always had an eye on Luther. Coach Root, our defense coordinator, coached at Luther for 3 years after he coached for us at McMurray. And so there's a lot of connectedness there. We know a lot of people that have been and currently are at Luther. And just my experience being in Division III and being in Illinois for so long, there's a lot of connectedness and relationships that kind of interweave between the Iowa Conference or the American Rivers now and the conference that we were in and any of those conferences in Illinois. So there's familiarity, but still not familiarity. I've never been on their field. If people don't know, I don't think our players knew until we started watching film. They play on blue turf, very much almost the exact same color as Boise State. A lot more blue, no orange mixed in, but that'll be definitely different for the guys to get adjusted to. I'll probably have to wear my shades all day on that one, but we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a great game. I know they're going to go out and compete. I know we will. As Jaron said, we've done a really good job, especially in these last 2 to 3 games, of moderating our energy level and keeping it high enough to be very intense, but not letting the highs and lows of the game affect us. Now, it is kind of funny. We talk about coming out strong. I think we've gone 3 weeks in a row now. We've gone 3 and out of the first series of the game on offense, but we typically find our wheels and find our traction and be able to get back on track pretty quickly. But really looking forward to this and getting a chance to meet Coach Torche up there and visit with him a little bit. And again, be to Decorah, Iowa. Never another town I can check off my box of places I've never been before.
Awesome. That's awesome. We touched on this a little earlier, but these 2 guys sitting next to you, talk about their leadership and their key roles on this team.
That's one of the tremendous things of this entire season. a lot of different scenarios, a lot of different places I've been as a head coach, as an assistant. I don't know that I've had a stronger group of leaders that I have here. We had a couple guys last week, and John Stockton and Jalen Babers, and the epitome of what we want in guys in the classroom and on the field. And these two guys are just like that as well. I do a tremendous job in the classroom. I mean, one's going to go to either PT school or med school. One's going to be just killing it in the workforce and business and something, whether he's working at Future Fuel or something like that. I mean, guys, when I sat in on Jaron's presentation this summer, it blew my doors off. Just the stuff that he got to do, but the stuff that he learned. And I could kind of figure out some of the stuff that they were talking about. Unfortunately, Jaron had PowerPoint, and so it kind of made sense to me. But I was just wowed by the potential of both of these guys and what they're going to do beyond school and beyond football, but what they're doing here now as well. And mentoring young offensive linemen, mentoring young wide receivers, mentoring our young players, and showing them what the Lion Way is about and how you can bring value to the program. I know this is every year. It doesn't matter how much I talk about it. Every freshman thinks they're the best thing since sliced bread. We call it the BMOC complex, big man on campus. Right? When you're a high school senior stud and you're playing both ways, and I've been starting for 3 years, coach, and now I'm not playing. And these guys, especially Jake, I mean, he had to jump in early due to some injury and low numbers and COVID, but, Jaron's definitely had to wait his turn a little bit. And the patience and the buy-in to the program beyond just yourself, that's what we want those freshmen to understand. They have to think long-term. We talk about all the time, have short-term energy, short-term passion, short-term intensity and focus and competitiveness, but long-term purpose, long-term reason. And so what kind of value can you bring to the program? Well, these two guys bring value not just on the field, but in that locker room, mentoring and guiding and shepherding guys to that next step of becoming from a sophomore or freshman to a sophomore, or some guys a sophomore to a junior, and bringing value obviously in the classroom as well. Two super students and really work hard at it, but also do really well at it as well.
They are the epitome of Scott's football.
Absolutely.
On that, going back to Luther again, what are we going to have to do? We got 2 more games left in the season. We want to be successful.
Absolutely.
What's the success plan?
Defensively, we really made a step forward in cutting down the number of missed tackles and missed fits. We talk about fits, run fits, where linebackers and defensive line are supposed to fit gaps. We really made a big improvement on that last week. We still had a few missed tackles that we'd like to take away, but I thought we played pretty solid in coverage. That will be huge this week. We cannot give up any big plays over the top. We got to make them earn it if they're going to throw it, and we've got to be able to stop some run game and not allow some big plays to happen in the run game. If they're going to earn it, they're going to have to go 12, 14, 16 play drives, which we don't really want to see that long a drive and eat up a bunch of clock, but the more times you have to snap the ball, the more opportunities there are for a mistake. And so we've got to, if there's going to be drives, we've got to make them long and not give up big plays defensively. Offensively, we have to be very balanced. We've got to be able to run the ball. We've got to get vertical in the run game as well. And then we've got to be able to take our opportunities, our windows in the throw game when it presents itself, and then at some point there's going to be 3 or 4 big plays. We don't know when, we don't know how they're going to happen, but they're going to happen, and we have to be ready and we have to capitalize. Fortunately, like I said last week, we missed a couple, but we also hit a few as well. So that was a lot of the big difference in last week's game. This week, when those big plays present themselves, and there may not be a lot of them, we got to hit on them.
Definitely. I'm going to jump back a little bit because you sent me an article from D3 magazine that was really incredible, talking about Lyon College and the travel purposes. And
Absolutely.
Jacob, you were interviewed in that. Talk about that a little bit. What kind of experience was that?
That was different. I've never had an interview over the phone before, especially with a prestigious, name like that. It made me a little bit nervous, but I had Coach Doug there and Jalen Babers there, and it was just like talking to an old friend. I just bragging about the guys and the struggles of the travel. I mean, if you had to put a word on this team, I think perseverance would be it. I mean, we have gone through a lot this season, and in just the travel alone, I mean, you could talk about anything. The weather when we got there. I think when we left for the first New York game, it was what 70s.
We had been practicing in some 90s.
Yeah, it was warm, and we get there, and it was 50 something.
50, 55
I mean,
with wind.
That was tough, but I mean, the guys have handled it well, and it was just an opportunity to brag on them, and I think that, we represented it well.
Excellent. Jared, what do you think about, the positive media coverage that Lyon College is getting this year?
It's great. It's great to be able to, kind of make the transition into D3 and, kind of get a little bit of exposure to everybody in D3 and kind of get these opportunities to go on these trips and kind of make a good name for Lyon College and represent the college well and kind of just build I'm trying to think of the word.
Solid reputation.
Yeah, reputation with everybody
yeah.
in Division III, and so it's been awesome to be able to do these things, and I'm glad that we're kind of getting some notice for it. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Coach, we've talked a little bit about Luther. We've talked about Hilbert College.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add here?
No, just it's amazing. I said it just a couple of days ago. I said, where did August go? Like, it just feels like we just started this thing, and now we're coming up on the tail end. We've got 20% of our season left. We've got 2 games. And as I've told the guys, and they've really responded this week, I felt like these last 2 practices have been really, really strong. We've got to cap it off one more practice today and have our best practice of the season today. And then we got to bottle that and take it up there. But as I told them on Sunday and Monday, we're going to continue to drive and demand that we continue to improve, not just in our performance, because in college football and any other football, any other sport, you just don't roll your helmet out there and just make it happen. You've got to prepare for it. And so we've got to prepare better, harder, more focused than we ever have every day, and then take that up, and then we've got to convert that into performance. Preparation doesn't guarantee performance. It gives you a solid chance, but then we've got to have the mental clarity, the focus, and the competitiveness to go out and make it happen Saturday, and I believe these guys will.
I believe you're right there, too. And that 4th win is going to be big. Although it should be the 5th win.
We'll say 5.
We'll say 5.
We'll say 5.
We'll say 5 for the people viewing. But, we have another game coming up against Centenary later on.
That's right.
That's unfortunately not a countable game for the NCAA.
No.
But this one is.
This
coming
one
up
is.
with Luther is
This
a
one
countable
is.
game. So
That's right.
How big is it going to be?
It's huge. I mean, every one of them's huge. It really, every game you play is a test of your program. And, players, I get it. They're thinking my year, this week. They're thinking more in the moment, and they should. I have to think longer range. And, Jake said it, though, coming from where we started with COVID and building this thing up and just having to fight all of that and then getting traction within the program and building our culture takes time. And now we're really starting to see that turn. Now that helps you get more performance and execution on the field. And so every game this year has been a program test. And sometimes we failed and sometimes we won. And sometimes the team that we're playing is just better than us. And that's okay. But if we continue to improve, then I'll feel justified in what we've been doing and the program that we've put together and the plan that we've executed. But like I said, we've got great human beings, and you got to start with that in order to be able to run a really strong program and develop it and grow it for the next generation and turn that into wins on Saturday.
Very good, very good. Luther College, Saturday. Is it a 1 p.m.?
It's a 1 p.m. Central, yes.
Central
it's going to be super late for us.
I know, right? After a couple of 10 a.m.s and 11 a.m.s. 1 o'clock kickoff.
1 o'clock.
Lyon College versus Luther College
That's right.
in Iowa.
That's right. Streaming live.
Streaming live.
We'll
have stock.
It'll be on ours and on Luther's website, but go to ours.
Very good. Yes, please go to ours. Anything else we're going to add, guys?
No, I think we're good. Guys, anything?
That's it.
I don't think so.
Okay. Guys, thanks for coming.
Of course.
Go Scots.
Go Scots.